$650 million buys you an inaugural game against one of the NHL's premier teams in the Vegas Golden Knights. You got to play on the road in one of the loudest, most rowdy buildings in the NHL with all the glitz, glam, girls, money, and distractions. The Seattle Kraken face an uphill battle from the time Commissioner Bettman and the NHL scheduling committee had a big lull at the expense of the Kraken fans. But this game was amazing, and the Kraken answered the bell with one of the most difficult tests I have ever seen a team have to face opening on night one for the NHL. We're going to go ahead and break down all the good, the bad, and the ugly for the Seattle Kraken and the Vegas Golden Knights. This hockey channel is like nothing you've ever seen before, and this video is going to take you to Hockey School 101. We're going to break down the best of the game, the worst of the game. You're going to learn something along the way. So let's roll the intro and get after it.
Here's Lemieux. His center penalty coming up. Look at the goal.
And Kraken Knights fans, if you're new to this channel, drop a subscribe. If you're with the channel or new, give us a big thumbs up. We would love to hear from you below in the comments. I read them all. I respond to most. All right, so what's the big storylines of this game? The first storyline of this game is that you have the Seattle Kraken coming in, not only playing their first game as a team, but playing their first game on the road. And we know after the expansion draft that the Seattle Kraken got a little bit lambasted for who they picked, but the longer people thought about it and looked at this team, the more you think this could be a playoff team, and it still definitely can be. Playing against the NHL's best, the first big thing we noticed is that the Seattle Kraken don't really have an elite line one. They actually have one of the worst in the NHL, and today did showcase it. The Vegas Golden Knights have one of the best line ones in the NHL, so when those lines were matched up against each other, the line one of the Vegas Golden Knights, which is truly elite, Stone, Pacioretty, and Stevenson, feasted on the Kraken tonight. There was 8 points between those three. It is a game of depth, and it is a game of four lines, but that line one makes a huge difference, and we saw that tonight. The Kraken also need to focus on tighter team defense. When we look at the structure that the Kraken wanted to deploy from Ron Hackstall, we can see that the gap between the defensemen and the forwards was not ideal. They ran their routes, but not properly. The forechecking and neutral zone forechecking tendencies of the Kraken were mediocre, and their defensemen backed in way too fast. The Kraken defense as a unit of six was so polite to the Vegas Golden Knights. They all must be Canadian, eh? They gave the Knights free zone entry, especially that elite line one from the Knights, and the Knights feasted on it. They only scored 4, but they could have had 7. Grubauer was saved by 3 posts. And speaking of Grubauer, he's the third thing we want to talk about tonight. For $6 million a year, this is an elite goaltender with an elite save percentage. You expect better from Grubauer. Hackstall expects it. The Kraken expect it. Grubauer of himself, I promise you, expects it. But Kraken fans will certainly give their favorite new goaltender a pass, and there's nothing wrong with that, fans. Grubauer needs to be better in order for this team to win. This team of the Seattle Kraken is built around scoring goals from line 2 down. You just got to survive line 1. That's the only thing you got to do. If I was in that room with Hackstall, he'd be telling them, I guarantee you, he'd be telling them that. We got to get through their top line because line 2, 3, and 4, we can outmatch them or at least evenly match almost any team in the NHL, and I believe that to be true. The team defense as a unit needs to trust their skating more. They need to tighten up towards each other, and they needed to stop allowing the Knights to enter the zone so freely. If you want to see this on display, let's go ahead and take a look at the shot differential. It was 31-30, but if you take a look at the shot spread that I've got posted up here, you can see that Seattle shots came from all over, mostly from the outside. Vegas was able to penetrate the middle of the slot and the middle of the circles and get more danger chances than the Kraken were. So not all shots are created equal. We can actually draw a home plate around the shots, and that gives us a really good bird's eye view of where the danger areas are. And we can see that that team defense of the Seattle Kraken collapsed around Grubauer and allowed way too many Golden Knights into their zone and way too many dangerous chances for Phillip to stop. Whereas the Vegas Golden Knights, their elite top 6 defense, I mean, it's one of the best in the NHL, led by Alex Pietrangelo, one of the, if not the best defenseman in the NHL. Take that one to the bank, Knights fans. Kraken fans, believe it or not, there's Knights fans that don't like this guy. He's phenomenal. Team Canada signed, locked, and loaded. Pietrangelo and crew were able to keep those shots to the outside, which really helped Robin Lehner. Lehner can see it. He's going to stop it. But speaking of Lehner, I don't think he had the greatest game today. I'd give him a 6 out of 10 for his performance. Hopefully that ends up getting a little bit better because with Fleury out of town, Leonard's definitely going to have to step up. You'll get through it in the Pacific Division, but that's not really what you wanted to see game one. But it's game one. Give him a pass. All right, so goal number 1 is a breakdown in the offensive zone for the Kraken. The defensive zone, this goal is generated by Vegas from the back end. This is a 1-2-2 forecheck, and this is broken down because of a poor forecheck and poor gap by the defenseman on the Kraken. This is what we're talking about at the beginning of the video. So we have here Tanev is forward 1, we have our forward 2s, and then we have our defenseman back here, and we call this a 1-2-2. Not a lot of science behind it. 1 player up, 2 in the middle, 2 back in there. The problem is the 2 defensemen for the Knights are way too far back. Their gap is too far, and the forwards are way too far up. They need to be back supporting the defensemen. So the 3 forwards need to join with the defensemen and tighten up as a unit of 5. The goal of this forecheck is simple. Tanev needs to push the puck to the wall and force it up the wall, while his 2 players, who should be further back above this line specifically, all the players, there's no invisible line, you just need to be above Stevenson here, so you have a 4-on-3 back there, and you're having a 1-on-3 down low. That would allow you to pinch them off at the wall, but because their 2 forwards here are just far too low into the zone, it allows Stevenson and Stone and Pacioretty to have a 3-on-2. You can see it here a couple frames later. The puck has moved up the ice with 1 pass to Stevenson. Tanev was unable to keep the puck off the wall, and now we have our 1 and 2 Seattle Kraken. They're caught. They are not in the play at this point. This is called backtracking or back checking. Now they have to just skate back as hard as they can and hope they can catch up to the play. As we move forward, the puck is here. Stevenson's carrying it. This is a 3-on-2 at this point, and what we have here is way too large of a gap from 2 defensemen. So your gap is the distance between the puck carrier and your defender, or your closest defender. These defenders want to be a stick length away from the puck at all times. So what I would actually expect is to have my D1 here gapped up and my D2 here in order to support a little bit more staggered. And you can see the order. I'd rather have you pushed up here and you pushed up here, but they're reverse. This gap burns them. And there's no point in questioning, well, it's a 3-on-2. They got to back up and wait for support. Yes, they do, but it's going to cause a goal regardless. This is such a terrifying moment for a hockey team. It is a total team breakdown at this point that you may as well take your odds by being aggressive and forcing the other team to make a play. If the other team makes the best play on a 3-on-2, congratulations, they win, they score. But if you just back up and sit on your goalie, you've given them no chance. So don't play safe, play a little bit more aggressive. That's what the NHL is built around these days. So what we're going to see here on this 3-on-2 is what we call a bump out from Stevenson over to Stone, and then Stevenson is going to carry through and drive the mid lane, meaning he's going to split these 2 defensemen in half and go straight to the net. This is very important because by driving this mid lane, he actually pushes these defensemen even further back, creating more space for Pacioretty and Stone to work. And now you may be going, you just told them not to back up. Now they're going to back up because Stevenson's driving the mid lane. Yes, once you enter the zone, now it's too late. Now the defensemen are forced to back up. There is no other option at this point because you've crossed the blue line. They have to consider Stevenson the biggest threat. They will end up backing up. And what we end up seeing here from the Knights is we end up seeing Stevenson drive the mid lane. He's going to end up here, which is key. We're going to see Stone moving to the top of the circle, which is key. And we're going to see Pacioretty moving to the top of the circle, which is key. A mistake would be to think that Pacioretty is going to fill this zone in here. He is not. Every single time he is going to go to the top of this circle. And the last thing that's going to end up happening is that a Vegas Golden Knights defender is going to fill this box here to have 4 boxes of attack. This is what they mean when they say they're attacking with 4. As this puck ends up coming from Stone over to Pacioretty, we see very dangerous situation brewing. The highest percentage scoring chance in hockey is when a puck crosses the Royal Road. It's an invisible line that's drawn down the middle of the ice from the middle dot all the way down through the net. Anytime a puck crosses this line that's being drawn, it's invisible normally, it ends up being the highest percentage chance for a goal. We call it a green chance. So Stone moving this puck over to Pacioretty crosses that Royal Road, checking the box. And what it forces is it forces Grubauer down here to use his angle, which right now he is facing Mark Stone. He has to give credit to the shooter. He now must change his angle all the way across the crease and reset into that new angle for Pacioretty. That's nearly impossible to do. The best he can do is a pad post-to-post push and a kick save at this point. And Pacioretty being the absolute sniper that we can see, puck is down here. Grubauer is in the middle of moving over, but he doesn't have enough time. There's all this daylight here, and Pacioretty will not miss. He's too good. Goal number 2 shows blown D-zone coverage from the Kraken. So what the Kraken want to do here is they want to cut the ice into half in their own zone. So they want to play in this box here. All 5 players want to be in this box. Draw a line from the closest post all the way up the ice. They're in good position right now, as you can see, but Marchessault is up here, and we have what is called a 2-3. So we have 2 players down low, and we have 3 players up high. This 2-3 works quite well because if this puck ends up going up the wall, you now have 3-on-3 or 3-on-2 outnumbered scenario up here at the top, which is what the Knights want to have. But what ends up happening is the Kraken end up cycling back into their own zone, and as soon as that puck changes direction, what you'll see is Marchessault sneaking in here. As soon as that puck goes below this goal line, he knows he's free and clear to sneak in and play offense. Right now, he's playing defense. We see Marchessault is starting to sneak in here. The Kraken are starting to cheat and leave. And what ends up happening is the defenseman here is caught puck watching. He needs to have his head on a swivel, and he needs to be looking for Marchessault up top and Karlsson down low. And he needs to retreat closer to his post here. He's just far too close on this puck. The other option this defender could make is recognizing that he has a 3-on-2 situation, 3 Kraken, 2 Knights, and he can forcefully go in to try to create a turnover. That is an acceptable play as well. But he doesn't do that. He's gliding. He waits. Karlsson ends up picking up the puck right here. And now that he's gliding, he's left all this room behind him, and it's just going to be a quick little bump out to Marchessault. Not a great job by the Kraken defense here. To finish the goal off, what we see now is Grubauer is nice and square to the puck. The puck is in what we call the slot here. This is the area between the 2 circles. It's a dangerous scoring chance, but we know we have that invisible Royal Road. It still exists. Bring a lot back to that Royal Road, because when you cross it, again, Grubauer is going to have to make all of that angle change, and he's going to go from an angle here all the way over to having to face an angle over here. Again, very hard, next to impossible, even for an elite goaltender. We see Grubauer do an admirable job getting over there and changing that angle, but Marchessault with silky, just sick mitts ends up continuing to walk it down further stretching out that angle across the net, almost 180 degrees, and he ends up burying that puck. And this is a team defensive zone breakdown from the Kraken, not just the Kraken defense. Grubauer does his best to make up for it, but at the end of the day, Marchessault's got silky hands, and the misfit line from the Vegas Golden Knights is the best second line in hockey. Bank it. 2-0 Knights after this goal. So last goal we're going to break down tonight is the inaugural Knight goal. So what we see here is a really nice shot from the top of the circle in on Robin Lehner. Robin Lehner needs to control this rebound. He does a terrible job of doing that. What we see is Alex Martinez is boxing out Ryan Donato here properly. Martinez wants to have this post, remember? And also remember, we talked about the fact that you can no longer cross-check in front of the net. I think this is a great idea. It's going to increase scoring, and it's going to force you to play better angles as a defender. So what we see here now is that Lehner mishandles the puck. He's got to have this one. It ends up bobbling out to here, and now we're going to end up seeing the body position change. Remember, Martinez wanted this post. It was a really good idea, but because Lehner's unable to make that save, which he needs to make. Yes, I get it. Every shot is a tough shot in the NHL, but you're a starting goalie. So when he makes that save, he can't let out that rebound. As soon as that rebound ends up going out, Martinez loses position on Donato, and Donato's easily able to put it in the back of the net. And what I love about this is that Martinez is not allowed to wholesale cross-check on the back of the net. Is a good, strong battle. Donato used his body position properly. Lehner didn't make the save. This is a deserved goal, a first goal from the Seattle Kraken, and it's fantastic that it's not ruined by another garbage cross-check in the NHL. So there you have it. Hopefully those 3 scenarios gave you a better understanding of hockey and backed up a lot of what I said in the first 5 minutes of the video, so you can see the way I watch the game as a hockey coach. This was a very good game played on both sides. The Kraken are going to tighten it up. Grubauer will get better. Hackstall will get him going. This team's going to gel with chemistry. They just played one of the best teams in the NHL. The Knights look super strong. Their line 1 is just absolutely elite. Their top 6 defensemen are great. Robin Lehner, Big question mark for me, though, going forward. We'll have to see more of him in a starting role. This has been Coach Ryan D. Like, subscribe. We loved having you here on this channel, and check out some of our other videos that we have on screen right now in our channel. They're all gems. We'll catch you guys tomorrow night for the Jets.